Fellow Spartans, here we go! So welcome to this first look featuring actual gameplay of the in-game engine for Total War Warhammer, and today we'll be looking at the Battle of Blackfire Pass, which is fought between the Empire and the Greenskins. So what I'll be doing in this video is giving you my reactions to the gameplay as it plays out, and then at the end give you my thoughts and opinions of the footage and how things are shaping up for Total War Warhammer with what we know so far. Now you probably hear in the background Karl Franz giving his pre-battle speech, and it does sound pretty epic, and as I said in my previous videos, it does seem that they've improved the speeches somewhat to bring them back to how they were in previous Total Wars like Medieval 2, which is very pleasing to see. You know, that feel that the speech is being designed to address the actual enemy they are facing, as opposed to not, just being a generic speech for every kind of battle. Now this is a demo from the work in progress game and is scripted to ensure that events do happen at specific moments during it. But all the visuals, animations and audio should be considered unfinished and of course as placeholders, but it does give you a very good idea of where they're heading with their most diverse Total War title to date. But you can see throughout parts of it that animations do seem a little unfinished, so do that, bear that in mind. But this battle only really does scratch the surface of the incredible Warhammer world which is going to be opened up with this game. The lore is so rich, as much as segments of actual history, so Creative Assembly do have a lot to go on with this game. Okay, so Blackfire Pass is a treacherous passage that lies between the Black Mountains and the World's Edge Mountains in the Old World. It forms the gateway between the Empire and the Border Princes, with the Badlands to the south, the domain of the fierce Greenskins, of course, which the Empire are fighting against today. As such, it is a location of great strategic importance. It was at Blackfire Pass that Sigmar defeated a mighty Greenskin horde, founding the Empire and forging the great alliance between men and dwarves. In the game, this will be a set piece quest battle that players will be able to complete to progress Karl Franz's skill tree, if they of course choose to play as the Empire, and this sort of quest battle will be available for other legendary lords in the game for other factions as well. Now, I said to you before, not just a game, but the diversity of units is incredible. The Greenskins really do show this to be the case. You've got goblins, orcs, trolls, Ragnarok spiders being available to control, and the Greenskins are led in this battle by Grimgor Ironhide and his immortal bodyguard. Now, immortals, I'm sure I've heard that name before. Oh yes, the Persians! Okay, so what you can see here is some goblin doom divers for the Greenskins. Now these look really fun, and they did catch my eye when I saw this demo a few weeks ago, and the great thing is here that you can control these in first person mode, much like artillery in Rome 2 and Attila, for example. So I can't wait to get my hands on these guys, and they do look like they will cause moderate damage to the enemy lines. Now these guys are goblin wolf riders, and they were sort of raiding / scouting unit. They're probably going to be light cavalry, and just check out this awesome artillery barrage from the Empire's Howblaster volley guns there and the rifles, and you can see that there's a pretty decent impact into the infantry lines there from the cavalry, but again, it's still a work in progress, so this should be improved even more so before the game comes out. Now these are Orc Warboss who ride on, you guessed it, boars, and these are kind of shock cavalry units, but I can't help but find them quite funny when they're riding on those boars there. I don't know, just make me laugh for some reason. But here we go. This is when I get as giddy as a schoolboy, because these are the Empire's elite cavalry. Now they're going to be trying to flank the enemy here, but I can't tell you how much I love the look of these units. We've got here some Outriders there, but oh my god, these guys, the heavy shock cavalry of the Demigryph Knights and the Reiksguard Knights are the business. They are the best of the best, the elite and heroes of the Empire in their beautiful ornate armour. Now this is a goblin shaman casting the curse of the bad moon on these poor Outriders, and I kind of feel sorry for them. But yeah, it does look very spectacular, though this is one of my concerns for the moment, and that is that spells could be a little bit OP, and there could be issues between, you know, balancing units, especially magical casters. As you can see there, completely wiped out both of those units there. But they are aware of this, and there will be a limited mana pool per battle. They have actually said that to be the case. But look at the animations of these demigryphs, which they did mention they have really worked hard on to give them that elegance as they gallop towards the enemy. And this is very pleasing to see the impact of the cavalry as they launch themselves into the lines there, literally throwing themselves into them. This is very promising, and you'll see this a lot as the greenskins charge into the enemy lines in a minute. But this impact of charging does seem to have really been worked on within Warhammer. You do get that feel of the clashing of the troops here. Now, I don't know about you guys as well, but I am loving the music in this battle. It really is pretty good. I don't know if it's trying to capture the sort of the Lord of the Rings-esque style of music with that choral background, but yeah, it really does set the scene and create a great atmosphere in this battle, and hopefully that will be the case throughout this game. Oh, this is just fantastic. Look at them launching them in there, bang, hammers, clubs going in there, kicking, men flying everywhere. This is just tremendous. If this is what it's going to be like, it will be epic in scale. I really am impressed with the charging of these units. It is just wonderful to see. Now the Empire, you can see, have brought forward their reserve lines as the greenskins have, as you can see, have made a huge dent against the enemy's front lines there. And here is the flying mount combat, which is another new aspect of Total War. Karl Franz on Deathclaw there, dueling against an Orc Warboss on a Wyvern. You've got trolls here puking acid bile onto the Empire's troops, which won't be pleasant at all, I can imagine. And I should say that if you win your fight against enemy flying mounts like Karl Franz did there, that will then kind of give you technically free roam on the battlefield to strike ground units pretty much anywhere you want on the battlefield. I should mention as well that quite a few of the units in the battle today are understandably going to be late game units like the elite demigryphs, which you saw before, as well as some of the spells which are being cast throughout the battle, so probably research and skill upgrades will be required to unlock these as you progress throughout the campaign. Now these two units are hero units of a warrior priest carrying the hammer there and a witch hunter with a kind of a Van Helsing look to him with his hat and pistol. Now these hero units are similar to agents and will not only be controllable on the campaign map like they were in previous Total War games, but now they will be on the battlefield to try and use effectively as well. And it'd be interesting to see what abilities they inherit in battle, and no doubt they will improve through time with the progression of skills as well. Here we go, the Empire now using the Luminarch of Hysh, their magical war machine, against an unsuspecting giant in the background there, firing a very destructive beam. This was featured on Creative Assembly's latest Unit Spotlight series for Warhammer, and definitely a lot of detail has been put into this unit, as you can see. And look at that, the Foot of Gork there being cast by an Orc Shaman, literally summoning the Orc God to the battle, completely wiping both the Empire's steam tank and the Luminarch, and that does look pretty spectacular. Guys, the scale of this is mind-blowing. New levels are being set here by Creative Assembly. A lot of people have cried out for fantasy titles by CA like Lord of the Rings before, which is obviously going to be incredibly difficult to do because of licensing. Well, this is a perfect answer to people's requests, and even if you haven't been a fan of Warhammer before like me, you can't help but sit back and admire their efforts here. This is Creative Assembly really having a go at something fresh and new here, pushing the franchise forward in so many directions, and hats off to them for that. Giant there biting off the heads of the Empire's infantry. I mean, I can't wait to see how bloody that animation will look when they release a Blood and Gore DLC at some point after the game's release, which by the way has been confirmed at the end of the video as 2016. At what point in 2016 we don't know as of yet. My guess, going on previous Total War releases, that it will either be in March or September. And so the battle concludes with this celestial wizard conjuring the comet of Cassandora, an awesome looking spell causing a great expanse of devastation, and I believe that the Empire won the battle in the end, and in that securing even more of a legendary status for Karl Franz. Right, okay, let's just take a step back and breathe. But as you can see, it's very easy to get hyped over this, and do you blame me? It looks very impressive, but we mustn't forget CA's mistakes in the past. I reminded so much of the Battle of Carthage, the scenario from Rome 2, where it didn't meet the expectations at full release, and I do hope it isn't repeated again, because in terms of performance, that battle did look pretty stable. There was some parts of it where it was a little laggy, but that is kind of expected with it being pre-alpha, and so optimization, I'm sure, will still be worked on till its release. As well, as I mentioned before, I really do hope the magic isn't too OP and the balancing is worked on, especially for multiplayer scenarios. Okay, I mean, call me crazy here, but Rome 2's release could be seen as a blessing in disguise. I mean, let's be frank, they knew Rome 2's launch was a bit of a disaster, and they are in a business and have to be aware of the impact and the reputational damage it would have caused them, and that's why I'm 100% sure that they will work doubly hard to ensure that lightning doesn't strike twice, especially with Steam introducing their refund policy for games now, and so that puts pressure on game developers to get it right first time. I mean, can you imagine if that refund policy was in place when Rome 2 was launched? It would have been an absolute disaster for CA, and they are making it very clear what type of trailers they are releasing now, i.e. the trailer today was an in-game engine trailer as opposed to the other trailer which was released a couple of weeks ago, and that was just an in-engine one, and they have been very clear stating what the difference is between them. And you know, financially they're doing very well, consistently hiring new people, working on more titles in tandem than ever before. But another bad release, and I feel their reputation couldn't take it, and both short term and long term it could be very, very bad for them. This is why I'm so confident that Total War Warhammer will be a success, and Creative Assembly will develop possibly one of their greatest titles to date. I can't wait to see what else is revealed to us before its release next year. But that's where I'll wrap up this video, but please let me know your thoughts on both the in-game footage you've seen today and what I've just mentioned as well. And as always guys, thanks for watching, but until next time, this is Warrior Spotter for now saying farewell.